So I just finished playing the Kirby and the Forgotten Land demo. The demo launched this morning, and it has 3 stages, including 1 boss fight. So I wanted to run down and give my first impressions. This is relatively unscripted, I just have some notes here, but anyways, let's jump into it. This is Kirby's first foray into 3D, I believe, and it's pretty good so far. It's not free roam, and the game is still a pathway structure that is in 3D instead of 2D, which is still a good step for the Kirby franchise, I believe. The game seems to perform pretty well, honestly, with the visuals and all the visual clarity. Cutscenes are highly detailed, surprisingly. I believe that might be because they are video files as opposed to rendered in the game themselves. However, there are some performance things like enemies in the background will be moving at lower frame rates. It's noticeable, but it's not really game-breaking for me. I felt like that was okay because I expect that kind of thing when I play a lot of Switch games. There is actually a difficulty select now. There's Wild Mode, which makes you take more damage, but you gain more coins for clearing levels. I'll say that it still doesn't pose much difficulty so far. I'm assuming these are the first 3 levels of the game, so they're not meant to be super difficult or anything. But there isn't much difficulty to be found in Wild Mode, in my opinion. It just makes it a little bit harder, but Kirby, still at its heart, is an easy franchise. So don't go in here expecting really anything above something a child couldn't clear. If you come in here expecting that Wild Mode is going to drastically change the difficulty of the game, you're going to be disappointed. In the older Kirby games, you'd have a room that you'd go into, and that room would close off, and then you would fight in there. However, in this game, instead, they create kind of a barrier that you have to fight inside of. And that works. That's pretty standard stuff for these kinds of games. For the most part, the copy abilities feel pretty good to use. I really enjoyed the 4 that were in the demo. Mouthful Mode is a lot of fun, but they introduce you to a lot of these early, so I'm wondering if there's going to be more later, or if it's just the ones we've seen already in the trailer and they don't have that many more. And how often are these going to be used is another thing I have in question, because in the demo, there's a lot of you jumping into one Mouthful Mode ability and then jumping out of it, and these kind of go on for segments, as most Kirby games tend to do with their special mechanics. You have like different segments of a level where you use it, and then you pop out and continue on. It's exploring a lot of ideas in one level, which is really nice. It keeps it fresh and it keeps it interesting. As for the boss fight, I don't think I need to warn anyone when I say that it really wasn't that difficult. I got smacked around a little bit in the beginning, but for some reason the boss doesn't do that much damage even in Wild Mode from what I've seen. And for the most part, I was able to just get behind him and kind of cheese the boss fight without putting much effort into it. But this is Kirby, so I guess that's to be expected. After you complete the demo, you're allowed to fool around with some evolved copy abilities. These are pretty interesting overall. I think the Chakram Cutter is probably my favorite. I didn't really understand the bomb that well. I know you can chain them together, but I wasn't exactly sure what that did. The giant sword was pretty interesting. It was a lot of fun. Pretty slow by comparison, I guess, but not that slow. And the ice ability was pretty cute. I liked the little snowmen that it builds. But overall, I'd say that I was pretty impressed with this demo. It leaves me wanting more, and I hope that they do this thing where they continue to just slam new ideas into levels without oversaturating the game with one idea. So I'm looking forward to this game, but it does launch on the exact same day as another game that I intend to play through, and that game is longer, meatier, etc, etc. So you probably won't see a review for Kirby and the Forgotten Land on this channel until the review for that other game is done. So as a fair note, keep that in mind. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. I really appreciate the support. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.